being that BroSun was a poet. And some of us are spoken word artists, and some of us are poets, and some of us are both. And I think hearing his words from his book tonight lets you know he was a poet. So I'm actually going to read a poem as a poet. Because usually I'm jumping around the stage and all kinds of other stuff. And I think he would agree that Gil Scott-Heron.
Yes, he's with them now. They're talking now. They're having a discussion now about Camus.
He's the GOAT. Greatest of all time. He released a piece in 1974 called Winter in America. And in that piece, he lays down the conditions of America as he saw it in the 1970s, early 1970s. And if you listen to that piece, go home, pull it up on YouTube. I've done it 1,000 times. If you listen to that piece, you will realize that it is still winter in America. Now, Pete Gang, 42 years of non-stop winter. We ain't even gonna go back to the winter that preceded the winter that he was writing about. You know what science would call that much cold and darkness all in succession? There's a name for it. They call it an ice age. Now, I don't know if Godfather Gil Scott knew that his winter was an ice age, but I wrote this poem to let him know. This is called Godfather, Your Winter Was an Ice Age, Spirit Message to Gil Scott-Heron. I was too young to remember at less than a year old, but apparently there was a beautifully brutal winter in America in 1974. My godfather told me about it through one of his poems once I became affluent with rage. And 40 years later, I regret to say, perhaps Godfather Gil, you had made a mistake. See, there is no summer that ever comes during an ice age, and the only warmth to be found is in the heart of the compassionate warriors. Those of us who chisel through the ice in search of children to dogs, so